I'm in here at the moment because there is a horde of zombies outside. I've got the door locked and we're good. Okay, it's been a hard day today, very hard day today. We haven't eaten at all. In fact, we haven't eaten for about 3 days, but it doesn't matter. When I was preparing for this, I'd done myself a fasting regime, okay, and I got used to not eating, yeah. However, food might be an addiction, and so is tobacco, yeah. The zombies can't smell. They hear movement, don't they? And they see movement and then they gravitate towards it, don't they? Hopefully they will be gone and I can start to tell you a little bit about the fasting regime, okay, and how beneficial it can be for you and how dangerous it is if you just listen to any old bod on the internet and don't follow the rules properly, okay? Now, I think they've gone. I can't hear any shuffling. Actually, no, there's signs of human life out there. That's all right. Good. Right then. So, let me tell you about fasting, shall I? And why I've come up with this, okay? I watched a couple of preppers recently on the videos. One was recommending to fast, and another one had actually gone through a 4-day fast, and that was quite an eye-opener at the end of the day, because he gave me a little bit of cognitive dissonance. Yeah, that's when what you're hearing isn't right, okay, because it sort of contradicts what you know. Yeah, so he'd gone through a 4-day fast. His insulin was very low and he needed to eat. Yeah, well, no, okay, his insulin would have been low, but that's not the reason he wanted to eat. Yeah. What the reality is insulin is only a hormone response. When you eat food, what the insulin does is it grabs the sugars, glucose, and then it puts glucose into the cells of the body, okay, because that's what your cells run on. They run on glucose, or they can run on fat, okay, but generally it's an energy source, okay. It's a glycolytic system. Now, your cells and your muscles will have glucose there, but your liver will also store up to 72 hours of glycogen, okay. So insulin will mop up the blood sugars in your blood, okay, and any excess it will pack it out as fat, okay. A lot of problems we have in this Western world is that we eat far too much carbohydrates, we eat just too much sugar far too often. The body doesn't know what to do with it. It causes something called hyperinsulinemia, yeah, which comes along with a fatty liver, okay. People get fat, they get weak, and they get very ill, okay. Diabetes, okay, along with obesity. It's an epidemic, and unfortunately I see a lot of preppers that don't know about this, that are taking this epidemic or potential epidemic into their prepared world, okay, which is not good, yeah. I will talk about this eventually if you're interested, but what I want to do is talk about when you fast is what happens to the energy stores in your body, okay. This is actually quite crucial, okay. So you're probably aware of the ketogenic diet, aren't you? That is basically it's a low carbohydrate diet, and what you do is get your body to run on fat, okay. You teach it to use dietary fat first of all as an energy source, yeah. You have to actually convert your metabolism a little bit to actually do that. And then once you get there, the idea is to cut the dietary fats down and then let the body go crazy on body fat, okay. The other way to do it, to get to the body fat, is fasting. Yep, this is why it's becoming very popular these days, is for weight loss, okay. But it has another purpose as well, which is autophagy, and I will talk about this. Well, what we're interested in is a lack of food for a long period of time, okay. You're not going to die if you don't eat for quite a while, yeah, and your body goes through certain stages, okay. As it realizes it's not getting any more energy coming in one way, it has to find it from somewhere, okay. So it goes for the glucose first of all. It uses the glucose up, which is normal, okay, because you refuel yourself at the end of the day, pack your cells out with glucose again, and away you go, yeah. Your liver will supply glucose. It will squirt glucose into the bloodstream, the glycogen, yeah. Supplies the brain with glucose as well, because that runs on glucose, and has a store for about 72 hours, okay. So there's a key marker there, 72 hours, right. which means that you are running on sugars for what, 72 hours, yeah, before it peters out. Now, when you go into a fat burning stage, that is ketosis, okay, and it's natural. If the body doesn't have the enough glycogen or enough glucose, it will find another source from somewhere. And we have plenty of body fat, subcutaneous fat, visceral fat, and then your abdominal android fat, yeah, plenty of it around. So it's actually very calorie dense, okay. Your body stores it in case of time of need. Yeah, but in the Western worlds, we don't use it, do we? We just store it all the time and we get ill through it. Yeah. So basically, what happens is you go into ketosis after about 72 hours. The problem lies here is that you do get weaknesses for a little while as you're changing it over, and you can get something called the keto flu first of all. And it's unpleasant. It makes you feel drained. Yeah. If you have to go through a forced starvation, you'll know that you'll feel really bleh. But then once the fat burning has got underway, you're usually okay, and it's a better burn, as they say. Yeah, I know this because I've done the keto diet, and it's actually quite good. Yeah. Say you went for a week, you'll be burning body fat all the time. Yeah. The biggest danger is, of course, the longer you go without food, when you actually start to refeed or you eat, you have to eat a small amount, okay? So at this point, what I want to do is recommend a book which I have actually recommended before in videos, is the Jason Fung's co-authored book, The Guide to Fasting, which is linked below, okay? That's worth reading because that will give you guides of what you can do and how you do it, what you can actually consume when you're in a fasted mode, and you'll be okay. Now, I would recommend, like I'm doing to myself at the moment, is to do small fast first of all. Yeah, warrior fast 3 times a week, which is 18 hours. Yeah, or even just if it's hard for you, skip breakfast first of all, and then have lunch. Yeah, lunch and then dinner, and have nothing in between. Yeah, knock the snacks on the head, as it were. And then after a few weeks, progress, because you'll feel, oh, actually, this is quite good. I feel okay. Yeah. Most of the time, hunger is a response. It's not actually that your body needs it. It's like a circadian rhythm where, you know, when you feel like you want to go to sleep regularly at the right times, it's the same with hunger. You train your body to tell you when you need to eat. Okay, so you need to reset that. Yeah. I actually do something like 18 hours a day fast, and then I have a feast. Yeah, I'm on 1 meal a day, OMAD. Well, warrior's diet, if you like. Means I don't have to worry about eating during the day, no snacks, nothing like that. Don't need them, just drink water and coffee. Get to the end of the day, and boom, Bob's your uncle. I can then have a good refeed, yeah, and eat well, okay? And I don't feel guilty about eating fatty foods or having chips with it and that, because I know during the day I'm using the stored energy that I've consumed to go about my daily job. Yeah. 24-hour fast is a good one. That is easy because it's only like, say you eat at 6 o'clock in the evening, you go till 6 o'clock again. Do that 3 times a week if you can manage it, or once a week. Yeah. And then do your warrior fasts, and then 36 hours is a good one. Now, it sounds quite a lot, doesn't it? 36 hours, but what you have out of that, you have 16 hours of that you're asleep. Yeah, so technically, if you're not waking up in the middle of the night gurgling because you're hungry, yeah, you can go through that time. You can have the 2 sleeps, and you wake up, you go through half of the day and then eat, don't you? Yeah. This is when it gets a little bit iffy, because you need to eat a small amount first of all, tell your body there's food there, and then eat a bit more later. Yeah. 72 hours, 7 days. Some people even do 30 days, which sounds a bit crazy, but they do it for health reasons. Yeah. Now, there is a worry that your body proteins are taken out for energy, which they are. Okay, over an extended amount of fasting, your body will find protein for energy. It turns it into glucose, for instance, and it will use that, yeah, which is a process called gluconeogenesis. Now, I did read a book called The Survival of the Fittest. This guy went across the South Pole, and when they stopped in Argentina, they stuffed as much calories as they could in. By the time they got to the pole and a little bit further, they ran out of food, didn't they? Yeah, so they literally, when they came back, they survived. But as he said, his organs were scorched, yeah, because the protein was being taken off to use as energy, yeah. But they survived, and once you start eating again, it rebuilds everything, doesn't it? Yeah. So the benefits in the Western world for not eating for a prolonged period is autophagy. Okay. Now, this is where the body will take proteins, but it doesn't take good proteins. It doesn't take muscle proteins or organ proteins. What it does, after it's decided that it's had enough fat, it will take bad proteins, damaged proteins, stuff in the body which is rubbish, and then it recycles it, so it gets rid of the shit. Now, this is what most people are going for, which helps with becoming younger and more vital in later years, okay? But of course, that is a worry that's put aside if you think you're going to lose muscle proteins, yeah? So there are a lot of benefits to fasting, yeah, but you've got to drink fluids, yeah, bone broth, stuff like that, which is taking minerals in, is a good idea, and drinking green tea, coffee, stuff like that without sugars, yeah. It works. I am losing weight, but I actually feel good during the day when I'm not eating, because I'm not hampered by tiredness of eating after I've eaten, yeah. So Dr. Jason Fung, I would look at him as the Bruce Lee of dietary information, okay? And he's a nephrologist, which is a kidney specialist. Noticed the diabetes connection with insulin, okay? Now he's brought out quite a few books: the Obesity Code, which I'm actually listening to now, the Diabetes Code, which I've listened to. They're doctor's manuals. They're heavy going, because he goes right deep into the mechanism, how the body works, and how things work within the body, and how the insulin is stimulated, and how we get hyperinsulinemia, yeah, and a fatty liver, stuff like that, and how we end up being obese, yeah. But the fasting guide is actually very good, and there is a book for females as well, which I accidentally bought and listened to, which is the Dummy's Guide to Fasting, yeah. You need this one, yeah. This one's good if you spend time and you're interested in it and get to know what it's about. Okay, there's a little bit selly at some points where they want to push it onto, but the information's there and it's okay. It works. Okay, it's trending now, yeah. But you want to use it in the case of prepping, don't you? Yeah, just in case there's prolonged periods without food. Okay, and once you're used to it and you get yourself metabolically flexible along with fitness, yeah, that's exercise and such like, yeah, you'll find that you can actually go for long periods of time without food and be okay, yeah. Also, if you are with people who have never starved before, then at least you can guide them through and help them to let them know that it's okay, that they're running out of glucose, for instance, and like I'm telling you, and your body fat burning will kick in soon, so that'll be all right. A little bit of a flu feeling, but never mind, it'll be all right, you'll get used to it, yeah, you know, that sort of thing. That's what we need to learn for prepping, don't we? Yep, just in case of the SHTFs, yeah, or the jizzy hits the fizzy, or whatever the Canadian prepper says, yeah.